Charlotte. This is a cool one. Okay.
Oh yeah, fun team.
Fun team. Unexpected
Fun team.
fun team. All right. So Charlotte. Let's get my notes up. Charlotte. All right. Is it Poggy? Is that how you say his name?
I think it's Bliff Poggi.
Poggy?
Yeah.
All right, so head coach Poggi, he's back for his second season with the team. Brings back both coordinators with them. Okay, this team's very interesting. 3-9 last year, but 2 of their wins were awesome at Tulsa and at ECU. They also went into Gainesville and held Florida to 22 points. These Charlotte 49ers, Road Warriors, man. Last year, this team like killed it in the portal. All right, so last year they had a quarterback carousel between 2 guys. One of them is gone. Jalen Jones is gone. The other kid is still there, but that doesn't matter because neither of them are going to start. They brought in Max Brown from Florida. He's a sophomore. He only has 1 career start, so we're talking very inexperienced. But his career start is against Florida State, so he played a serious game. They lost that game. Something I want to bring up when he probably was bringing up the. You want to bring up the Max Brown's pressure numbers, and this is more funny than anything.
I will say he didn't do well in that game against FSU. They wasn't great, but like they were, that was one of the best defenses I think we've ever seen in recent years. That Florida State defense. So he held his own, I guess.
Now this graphic that's on the screen, this is more tongue in cheek. This doesn't mean anything because he's only 28 pass attempts, so this means literally nothing. And probably when you take that, you just put it in stuff and it'll stay on every. And also move it to the bottom so you see the new comments too. So look at his numbers. There's pressure. That's just more funny than anything. That doesn't mean anything. They definite upgrade at quarterback talent wise, but he is a little bit inexperienced. And then running back, kind of the same thing. They bring back 2 of their leading rushers from last year, but neither of them are going to start because they brought in Cartavius Norton from Iowa State. He's got 174 career carries in the Big 12. Dude was taking Power 4 conference carries for the last 2 seasons, actually getting touches too. It's not like he was just riding the bench in Iowa State. He was actually getting touches. So he's going to be the guy. So they bring back their 2 leading rushers. Neither of them are even going to play. They'll play. Neither of them are going to start because Cartavius Norton is going to be the guy. So big upgrade at running back too. 4 of the top 5 receivers are back, and they added a few in the portal. I mean, they got a kid from South Carolina, Middle Tennessee. So huge upgrade at receiver as well. Offensive line's a little bit of a worry. They lost 4 starters. But the thing is that the Charlotte offensive line was so bad last year that, like, it can't get worse.
Good riddance to them, is what I'd say. Those players.
Good riddance. They lost 4 starters on the offensive line, but Charlotte's offensive line was quite literally one of the worst in the FBS. It was really bad. So I don't know if losing 4 pieces on the offensive line for Charlotte is necessarily the offensive line's going to be concerned. We have to say that. Yeah. But they quarterback upgrade, running back, they look good. Wide receiver, they look good. So I like the Charlotte offense. And then you get on the other side. The defense was the strength of Charlotte's team last year. The defense was actually a lot better than people think. People think Charlotte 49ers and they think trash. Their defense was actually somewhat respectable. So they did lose some pieces on the defensive line. Phil Steele said they brought in pieces in the transfer, but I couldn't find them. Sometimes I don't really know what he's talking about. So I didn't know what transfers he was talking about. I couldn't really find any, but he said that.
From what I'm looking at, the linebacker's pretty good. Their top transfer recruit Jay Butler is a very good player. They brought him in. So yeah, they did add pieces on this side. I mean, they added pieces all around the team. They were one of the only teams that on our entire chart, it's all 60 and up grades, and that's very good. I haven't seen many teams do that, and a lot of them are defensive players other than the running back. So this was a defense that gave up a lot of yards last year. The success rates were solid, but they gave up a lot of yards. That I think will be better this year in a new system. I know they lost a decent amount of players, but I think bringing guys in like that is good.
Cool. And also in the secondary, they brought in like 9 transfers as well, like you said. So, all right. I like Charlotte, but this is another one where I don't know if we could do the win totals yet, but we'll check it out. I'm leaning towards over 3.5 because I think the team is significantly better. But I'm saying that having not looked at the schedule. So
non-conferences doesn't do them any favors.
Doesn't do them any favors.
They get one, and they're going to be 1-4. They're 1-3 probably.
Holy
in
shit, the
non-
schedule sucks.
Yeah, it's they are going. There's a couple games that they're gonna have to win. They're gonna have to upset Navy on the road. That'll probably be a tough.
They got to
one.
beat Rice.
They have to beat Rice. They're gonna beat Gardner Webb, Rice, Navy, and then they got to sneak one of those games at the end. Tulane. They're not beating South Florida. FAU maybe. They're gonna have to upset. Their schedule is very difficult. Probably I would assume the toughest schedule in this conference.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Something I want to say though. Their over 3.5 wins is juiced to -133, which means the odds makers are leaning towards Charlotte grabbing that 4th win. And looking at their schedule and seeing this line kind of at least confirms what we're thinking, that this team is going to be improved. Because how can you set this line 3.5 juiced to the over looking at that schedule unless you think Charlotte's going to be greatly improved?
Yeah. I think the quarterback they brought in, I know he didn't play much. He was highly recruited, and I trust a guy who's been in football for like 30 years, their coach. So their offense is going to be very old school, but I think he fits it perfectly because it's kind of a mix of being an old school offense, but he can also scramble and run a little bit. So that's why I think they're going to be a very fun team to watch. But they're going to have to pull an upset. That's
Charlotte plus 9.5 week 1 home against James Madison right now. Dylan Morris learning a new system. First game on the road.
That'd be a tight one. I don't know if they win
9.5.
I'd probably take the 9.5. I don't know if Charlotte's winning that game though.
Oh, I don't know. Who the fuck cares, man? I just want
Well, I mean, for the win total, I
started talking about the week 1 line.
The spread, yeah, I'd probably take Charlotte. I think that'll be like a 3-point game.
Yeah, so Charlotte plus 9.5. I like that. So as far as the wins, I guess I probably would lean towards the over slightly, but I'm not betting it with the juice. So for this video, Charlotte over 3.5 wins. But I'm not betting it. I do think that Charlotte plus 9.5 in week 1 is worth a look. Next up.